Hey guys, it's Dakota, and I'm here with you with the Shaman chore for the day. I'm on the Apache Indian Reservation here in New Mexico, close to Arizona, and I was driving on the highway, and I felt this really strong pull to come down this dirt road that I saw. You can see my truck behind me, and I actually got to a place here where the road it no longer exists. So I'm here. I obviously got to a place where I had to stop. And when you're walking a shamanic path, there's so many times where, actually I would say all the time, you are always being guided and really being given answers to questions that you have asked either outwardly or inwardly. And so your guides are always speaking to you, and they're always giving you a chance to hear the answer. When you start paying attention to those little inklings, then you actually afford yourself the opportunity to get really deep clarity on your life, on your path, to really have answers that you may need at this time. So I'm kind of looking around because obviously there's something here for me, and I've already seen a couple of things. There's down here on the ground there are some tracks, and I think that they're wild horses. There's a lot of wild horses in this area, and you can see it more in through here. And horses are my animal essence. I really have a very strong connection to horses. I actually just saw 4 wild horses on the road just before I was here, and I just actually saw something over here that caught my eye. So I always pay attention to, oh boy, this could be scary. I pay attention to the emotion. My initial reaction you'll see it here in a second. My initial reaction was, ooh, that's a little scary. So let's hope. What I'm seeing is this cave, which I'm sure an animal lives in here. I'm not sure what kind of animal would be in here. I don't see any. Well, I see tracks, but they're kind of indistinguishable. So this is some kind of message for me, to find this little cave. And so when I'm paying attention to something that's really particular, I think of not only like this hole in the ground, which obviously is a home to an animal that I hope doesn't come leaping out at me, but I pay attention to the relationship of other things. So we have this really thriving sage plant. This is interesting, these markings on the mud where you can tell that the water just kind of dripped down and then dried. And the roots are hanging down. And yeah, this goes back pretty far. I don't know if you can see. And it's way cooler underneath there. If I were in need of a cool down, that would be a place that I would crawl into, as long as there wasn't an animal in there. And there's also this other desert plant. I'm not sure exactly what this is. So, but what I'm taking mostly is this really healthy sage right here. This seems significant to me for some reason. So sage is purifying. It can be cleansing, but it's used for protection, and it's used for clearing negative energy. I've been collecting some sage today on my journey. So the cave kind of represents maybe a retreat. Maybe I need to retreat and get in touch with my roots again. So the mud that's kind of in the form of, like you can tell that it was water, and that water dripped down and then it dried. So the water would represent maybe emotions, and so maybe I have some emotions that I haven't expressed enough lately, or that I'm out of touch with, or something there. And trying to see if there's anything else. There's these little, I don't know what these are, little something growing here in the earth. They remind me of some kind of lichen, but it's soft. So you think of, so the texture is soft in this harsh environment. So that contrast is interesting to me. There's something else over here that really caught my eye. And so what I'm trying to get to is that, not so much that you need to hear my message, but that when you are really paying attention in your environment, you get so many different answers, and it's for you to interpret what those answers are for you. And then you take that into account with everything else in your life and kind of how it fits in. Now, this may be, for me, a piece of a puzzle, that something that I've asked, and I'm getting like one snippet of the answer, and that I will get more as I journey on. So I'm here at this now. Let me see if I can. It's like this little ravine. So I'm going to crawl down here. Let's try not to fall in camera. I'm trying to get to what I see over here, because it's really interesting, because it's once again represents that contrast. So we have the contrast of the softness and the contrast of the these are definitely wild horses. I can see the scat. Contrast of the harshness of the desert and the softness, and this is the contrast of light and dark. I'll show you here in a second if I can get to it. And there's sage everywhere here, which is, you know, this is place for sage, but I'm really paying attention to this shade, or sage. This is interesting too, like all this cracked mud. It's beautiful, actually. And this is, so we've got the black rock right next to the white rock. Hopefully you can see that. And so, again, this shows me contrast, and that they're side by side, they're about the same size. So maybe it's balancing my light and dark, maybe it's looking at my shadow pieces. I mean, it could be a number of things. So anyway, that's just a little glimpse of what it is to do soul tracking, which is soul tracking, something that we teach in the mentorship quite extensively, and it's really a powerful tool. Somehow I got a thorn in my hand. It's a powerful tool for assessing your messages. And so in this little short thing, I hope you were able to learn a little something about paying attention. Thanks, you guys. Bye.